Hello and welcome to New Roads again. Well, I've been working on my RV. I've got some problems with my furnace, and I had some issue with the sail switch. I looked on YouTube to see where, sail switches were clogged, some were malfunctioning, but nobody ever talked about how to actually check it or how to correct it. One of the things that's happening with newer model RVs, the sail switch is not adjusted properly, and it falls out of adjustment, and you hear your furnace try to kick in, but it doesn't start, and you're wondering what's going on. Could be the sail switch. Come in, check out, and see what we got. So this is my unit right here. It's a Dometic, and I have the vertical unit. So this one sits up and down, and it sits right underneath my cabinetry here. As you can see, where I took out the drawer and the cover piece and all that. And on the back side here, and I'll swing this around here so you can see it, and let me give you a little bit of light. We have what is known as the sail switch, and that is this little booger right here. And I have some pictures of that. I'll show it to you later on, but I'm going to take this out and show you how to get this adjusted and check it. So one of the things you want to do, there are two screws here, one on each side, and you want to just get in here with the number 1 screwdriver and remove these screws, just like this. They're a little long, but they come out fairly easy. Let me get you a little more light here. There we go. So what I did was I took my furnace and I flipped it up on the end so you can see how this comes out, just like so. Now mine is really clean. You can look inside and see that it's clean and nothing's happening there. But this is the sail switch. Now, when it's straight like this, that's where I was having problems. So I took it and I bent it at an angle, the same angle as the rotation of the fan blades inside of the motor here. So I bent it at about a 45-degree angle, and you can see now it's bent probably at about a 30-degree angle, somewhere in that area. And if you match this up inside, it's bent at about the same angle as the blades. So when the pressure starts up, it will push against the sail switch, closing it and causing it to ignite and getting your flame. When it stops, it opens back up. I found that mine was straight, and when it was straight, it's very hard for it to grab air and push back and close that switch. The other thing is I put a little bit of an angle on it backwards. So if you look at it straight here, you can see it's bent a little bit towards the back part of the switch. And that also helped in closing that switch down, making the connection so I can get a connection. So that's what you might want to check on your furnace to make sure that it's working properly, and get that adjusted. Once you adjust it, all you have to do is take it, slide it back in, and then tighten it down. Once you get it tightened down, slide the unit back into place, and you're good to go. Okay, now I got the sail switch back in. I've got it adjusted. What we want to do now is test the unit. There's a on and off switch that will kill all the power to the unit so you can work on it safely. Make sure you have that in the off position. You can also pull the fuse that goes to the heater unit. Also, go to your panel, turn it all the way down to the lowest setting. That's just kind of a safety check to make sure that it's off. Once you do all that, you get your switch back in, get it adjusted, Then turn your heat up to about 78, 80 degrees, and then hit this reset switch. You'll hear the unit kick in, and look for a clicking sound like you would listen for on your barbecue grill. There's that sound. You get that sound, that means it is igniting, and that means that it's getting set to ignite the propane coming into the system, and it should fire up. If it doesn't fire up, check your switch again. You can actually take the sail switch out and just open and close it and see if you get that clicking sound. If you do, you're good to go. If you don't, you might need to make some more adjustments. If the clicking sound, if you close it manually and you don't get the clicking sound, then that might mean that there's something else going on with your system, and you might need to take it in and get it repaired. But that's what I found out was going on with mine. The sail switch, it is a common problem. Easy to adjust, a little difficult to get to, but pretty cool. So now you can see inside the unit where it's going to be placed. I'm going to put it back in place, and then connect up the lines, and then see if we actually get a flame. But make sure that everything is connected back up properly before you turn on the gas, and then you should fire it up and see how it works. You can also clean your vents. So especially if you have dogs, cats, animals, this will suck air in, and it will suck those things into your system, even into your vents. So it's a good idea while you have this out, go ahead and clean your fan system out, clean out underneath your unit. You see right here, underneath, clean that out, make sure there's nothing in there. Clean out underneath, and make sure everything is good to go before you put it back in. Oh, ouch, that hurt. Okay, so now we got everything cleaned up, and what we're going to do is just take this, and you probably want to wear gloves because the metal does have sharp edges. You don't want to cut yourself or anything like that. You just take the unit, put the butt in first, past your gas line, just slide it in place. There's a little plastic deal on the back side that holds the wire in place. You can kind of press that in place a little bit before you get it all the way in. Makes it a little bit easier. Then once you get that in, slide the butt end first into place, and then bring around the front end, and it slides right in, just like that. Once that's in place, finish inserting your wire. It's a little plastic conduit that just holds it up and out of the way, which is really, really nice. Very convenient. I like it. And then once that is up and out of the way, make sure that this is set down in place. Make sure this is butted all the way up against your wall over here. And then you take your hoses. These are your return hoses. You have a small one, you have a large one. And I left the clamps on. And takes a plain screwdriver, or you can get a socket in, like I have here. And these just slide on, and you tighten them down, like so. And once you get them tightened down, you're good to go. As far as those are concerned, there we go. That one's in place. Get the smaller one secondly. It doesn't matter which order you put these on. Just make sure you don't crimp the ends or anything when you're sliding these into place. There we go. Just like that. And then we tighten down this and this end. There we go. Nice and tight, nice and snug. And now we got our hose pipes back in place. Okay, so next what we're going to do is attach the gas line. You can get a nice crescent wrench like this, or a nice pipe wrench. Either one will do. there's a little bracket that's used to hold us in place. And oh, let's see if we can get it out here. I think I can. And rotate it around here. There we go. And you can slide this back and rotate it around in place, but you don't have to screw it yet. It goes right there. And then you take a gas line and just be very gentle. It's got a big loop in it, so you want to keep that big loop. Try not to crimp it or put a crease in it, and just ease it back down on the system just like that. You can see the nice arc here. There's no crimps in it or anything like that. Line it up onto the fitting, and when you put this on, hand tighten it first. Do not use a wrench on it or anything like that. Get it on there to make sure that you haven't cross-threaded or anything like that. If it goes on really hard, back it back off, and then try to reconnect it again. Once you get it into place, you get it tightened down, take your wrench, and you can give it a couple of good turns. Make sure it's on there nice and snug. Just like so. Doesn't take a ton of force to get this seated into the right place. And then once you do that, you have one other screw here that you can put into place. And that uses a number 2 screwdriver. I use my power drill here. You can put this into place right here. And that just secures your gas line. Make sure it's not floating around or anything. Just like that. And now we have it in place. So there are 2 bottom pieces here that go on the bottom to secure this in place so it doesn't slide around when you're traveling around. I'm going to leave it just like this. We're going to go to the outside. I'm going to show you what to do outside. Okay. There. Okay. This is the furnace here. And I'm going to give you a close-up. You can see where the end of it is coming out right there. And it got dark on me, so I apologize for the low light here. But there are 2 pieces that go in to put this in place. One is this flange. I'll show this to you. And this just slides in. It does have this side's up, this side down. And this just slides into place around the exhaust vent, like so, and it kind of locks it in place, like so. And then once you get that in place, there is a metal exhaust vent. You've probably seen these on the side of RVs. These are very important. It helps with the combustion and controlling the amount of air that's pulled in and taken out. This just slides right in over the top of that, like so. Now I'm not going to tighten this down yet. We're going to go in, we're going to test the system, make sure that everything's working properly. Then we come back out, we have 4 screws to screw this down. We're just going to reseal this with caulk and we're good to go. Okay, so this is my control panel. And go ahead and get this going here. Go to the HVC. Okay, so I got this set up really high to, I'm not sure if you can see this here. There we go, 79 degrees, 71 in here now. And now I'm going to go over and hit the reset on the system. Down here. Oops. Oh, sorry. I'm going to hit the reset on the system and see what happens. Fires right up. Awesome. And that's what we need right there. And checking the system here now. There's warm air coming in through my vent, which is awesome. It's running really quiet and smooth. I did check the line with a little bit of soap to make sure that there's no leaks on the propane. I got my return vents connected up, and everything sounds great. I put the little plate on the outside, I showed you that earlier, so it burns nicely. If you don't have that plate in, or that little steel tube, it messes up the combustion and it doesn't burn efficiently. So that's really a big aid to that. But it sounds great. It sounds really good. I'm just gonna go ahead and hit the off switch and shut it down. And just test it one more time before I close everything up. Give it about a couple of seconds to recycle here. And so I'm gonna get my flashlight here. Oh, here it is. And that reset switch is right there. You can see it right there, and I'm gonna press that in just a second here and restart the system. Let's see what happens. Right up. Beautiful. So anyhow, that's the problem that I had with my system. I'll show you the video how I put everything back. And you can see it's not that bad, it's just a little cumbersome getting it in and out, but other than that, pretty smooth. Okay, so one of the things that I didn't discover, I've done this twice, so I'm gonna show you. The first time I did it, I had to kind of wiggle this thing out to get it out. I discovered that on the back side of this middle piece here, there are screws. So you can take a power screwdriver or just a regular screwdriver, unscrew them, and then this whole piece comes out. And then when you're done, you can take this and slide it back into place. Make sure that you get the right screws on the right end. You might want to mark it or something like that. That way you know that you got the right holes lined up. And so that's what I'm checking here now to make sure. So let's see, yeah. So we want to do this right here, and it's a tight fit where this goes in. I mean, like so. And like so. Oh, there it is. Okay. Then come back on this side. Do the same thing. Give it a couple of turns just to make sure you got it in properly and lined up. If it doesn't go in easy, then you know you need to adjust the board a little bit to get it to go back in. And then there you go. Bam, bam. It's in place. Then after that, slide your drawer back into place and then put your cover on. And you're all done. Okay, so next what we're going to do is put the drawer back in. And to do that, if you look on the side here, there's a couple of little metal clips. You push those down to release. And to put it back in, you just have to line it up on each side and then slide in your drawer. I can get it to line up. Oh, there's one and two, just like that. Slide it in, you hear it click into place, and we're all good. Last thing is the cover. This sets like so. It sets a little bit up. So what I do is I will tighten these up just a little bit so the screw is protruding out the backside just a little bit, not a lot. Just so you can find the holes. There it is right there. So now you can see how it kind of finds the hole, hangs in place, and then just tighten them down. Like so. We're going to come up here and fire up the system again. There's the last check. Make sure everything's running great. So I'm going to kick this up to like 75, 76 degrees. And let's listen for it to kick in. There it goes. Sounds great. And it just fired up. Sounds wonderful. I think we got it fixed. And it didn't cost me anything. Just about an hour of my time. The Dometic furnace. I hope the information that I provided you with was helpful in solving your problems with your furnace. We would like to thank you for visiting us here at New Roads. Feel free to visit us on Facebook, or you can email us at Gmail as well. Thank you for sharing your travels with us and being with us here at New Roads. And we look forward to seeing you on your next